Hello ladies and gentle ladies, welcome back to another railroad stream. This is a bit of a surprise Wednesday stream today, but we're going to be working back again on the Java parser because it's been a while. So yeah, we'll basically just go ahead and get into it, I think. So, oh yes, I should turn the light on because it's dark. It is very dark. Because, you know, that's how it be this time of year. So, it's been a long time since we have done any of the parser, which is why I wanted to try and get back to it. And that's why we're doing it today. So, yeah, I guess we'll get started. The first thing we need to figure out is where we left off, and by the looks of it, that is at conditional expressions. Conditional expressions, I think, are going to be a pain in the butt, but we're going to give them a go. Now, I had some resources from last time. So I just need to try and find those again. Which may take me a moment. Probably should have pre-prepared these so I don't have to go searching for them. And it was so long ago that it is going to take me a minute. No, not that one. Not that one. Aha! I found it. So. So yes, we need to figure out how to pass a conditional expression. Now, we can look up the JLS again. That's generally a good place to go. Hello, Rat. Welcome to the stream. So I'm going to try and look in the JLS first of all. That's a good first start. Now, I don't know that we're actually going to have any luck in here. Conditional compilation? No. There is conditional stuff in here. I'm just not convinced it's super useful. Hello, sir. You've been welcome to the stream. Okay, this is kind of what we want. So this is a ternary statement. Once again, kind of what we want. Equality. Yeah, this isn't super helpful. What we could look at, actually, a good thing to look at would be the assignment. Because the left-hand side of an assignment is a conditional. So if I can find an assignment expression, this one, hopefully. Okay, not really. I mean, yes, but not really. That wasn't really what I was looking for. Let's try and find assignment operators, not helpful. I don't know what these are. I don't know what these are. Okay, let's just look for expressions, maybe is the best way to go. Try and find the first like expression statement, maybe, because in there we have assignment, and inside of assignment we should start with a a conditional expression. Aha. Oh, a conditional expression is a ternary statement, apparently. So let's see what we currently have for passing assignments. So what are we doing here? Well, hello, Mr. Junior Monkey. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so we passed the left-hand side first, which is meant to be the conditional expression. And then basically we say here, is valid left-hand side. So we're checking if this is valid, so if it's a name, a field, or an array access. If it's not valid and the next type is an operator, then we report an error because that's obviously not ideal. It is valid and the next is assignment operator, then we do all this. And then else we just return the left, so basically meaning it's a conditional. I think that's fine. I would like to let's think. Let's look at this again. So basically we're looking for something, basically an expression, followed by a question mark, followed by an expression, followed by a colon, followed by either a conditional expression or a lambda expression. But what's the difference between a conditional expression and a conditional or expression? So what is a conditional or expression? Is that, to me, that suggests that's probably literally like just an or like this, right? It's probably a conditional or. We can have a look though if we go in here. Yeah, so basically a conditional and, or it's a conditional or a conditional and. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So in that case, the first thing to do, I'm going to bring this back to my other monitor then. The first thing to do basically is obviously create this method first. So let's do a private, and I don't think we actually have a conditional expression. We do, actually. Interesting. But we can't return a conditional expression because it might not be a conditional expression, right? It might be a conditional or expression or something. So what is this doing? Passing conditional expression. So we get the current span, of course, as we usually do. Then we try and pass a logical or. If we match a question mark afterwards, then we pass the expression, which is like the middle one. So if we look at the JLS again, you see the middle one is always just any old expression. And then it's either a conditional or a lambda. Now, has Copilot handled that here? Not quite. Not quite. Now, how to determine between a conditional or a lambda? I don't know. I think we'll stop it there. And we'll write that ourselves in a second. So... The problem is that it could be a lambda expression, right? So what we could don't we have a lambda? Yeah, is lambda header? We actually have parse lambda expression. What does this do? I think this is probably what we want, right? I think so. I think we probably want to say, like, if is lambda header, then we're going to return or I guess we want the expression, right? So we want the expression false, right? If it's a lambda header, then false expression is equal parse lambda expression, else false expression is equal parse conditional expression. And actually, I guess we can just use the ternary statement for that. And then just return the actual conditional expression. I think that's basically what we want. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to verify that this looks correct. Obviously, eventually we're gonna write tests and stuff for this, but if we can at least get some kind of verification for now, that'd be good. Let's see what it says. And then the next one will be logical OR. I think that one will be... I mean, these are all going to be relatively similar. They're just not quite the same. So logical OR will just be... yeah, an AND on the left, and then... is that a thing? No. Do I have? I have OR. Is OR? Yes, it is. Okay. Okay. That's fine then. So, yeah. So it's basically exactly the same, right? I mean, these ones are going to be exactly the same because they all have a left and a right. So we just pass the left, right? Now, I don't know that while match is necessarily correct, though, admittedly. Is that correct? I'm going to look at the JLS again. So conditional OR is a conditional OR or a conditional AND. So wouldn't it be better to just do... yeah, this basically, but like it doesn't need a while loop. Does it? Does it? Am I being dumb? Maybe I'm being dumb. Also, ChatGPT says I'm wrong. I think it doesn't know the spec though, because I'm pretty sure I'm actually correct with this one. But it's saying it shouldn't be able to have a lambda, which I think is incorrect. Okay, but if we look at this again. So yeah, so saying it could be an AND, right? Which we're already handling because that's this here. So this is basically looking No, not this one. This is looking for an and, right? But then it's saying it can be an or followed by the or an and. There's no type of conditional or expression is always Boolean. At runtime, the left-hand operation is evaluated first if the result, whatever, I don't care. I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm more intrigued if the while loop is necessary. I think the actual thing to do here is say if match or, right? Then we handle. But then this is trying to do the same thing. I don't think that's correct though. Right? Because if we match an or, then we need to look for an and, basically, is what we're saying. So the next thing to do is to look for an and. So we say expression and will be equal to parse logical and then just return. Oh, I think I see the issue, actually. But I was trying to return a binary expression. Didn't I have a new or expression? No. You're back to the parser. Yes, I am back to the parser. The onboarding is not complete, but I wanted to kind of get some work done back on the parser, so that's why. I guess a while loop makes sense because we don't want to parse it and then come out of it and we think we're done, because we're not done until we passed all of them, right? So I guess Copilot is actually correct here, but we do want to do this while we have an or, and then we construct a binary expression. Now, that takes in an operator token there. I think that's probably correct, to be honest. So let's take in a Lexa token of a Java token type. And then we can just pass that in here as well. So operator like that. Okay, and then that basically, so that will just wrap that, and then eventually it'll come back to here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that should be correct. It's hard to say, to be honest, but I think so. So let's do and as well. Private. I think it will be very, very similar. Yeah, basically the only difference that is that inside of here, instead of passing an and, we're passing a bitewise or. Because if we look at the JLS, we go into and, which is this one. It's a conditional and or an inclusive or, which I think is bitewise, right? Inclusive or expression or exclusive or expression, which is what? Yeah, basically a bitewise, because that can be an and as well. So that should be fine. So private expression pass bitewise, or honestly Copilot's going to be able to do most of this because so much of this is going to be very similar. Now what's the name of the bitewise or character? Is it like a hat or something? What's it called? It's the triangle thing, the vertical triangle thing. What's that called? Carrot? I think it's carrot. Yes, that's it. So then the next one is XOR, which is pipe, and then and, which is ampersand, and then we go equality. So what's this? Is any equals? Well, that is it's just equals, right? I think. No, double equals is what I have it called. Double equals. Or did I do exclamation mark equals, or did I do not equals? I did not equal. Okay. So then that's got relational expressions. So I bet it's gone a little further than I anticipated. So I need to figure out what a relational expression is. So a relational expression is like a less than, a greater than, a less than or equals, or a greater than or equals, and also apparently an instance of operator. So this one's probably going to be a little bit more complicated. Let's see what the plan is here. Yeah, so it's correct, except for the fact that it could be an instance of operator. Which I think the best way to handle is just to try and match one at the start. I think. Because realistically, it's just a keyword, right? I guess it's not necessarily just a keyword, because it's saying if A is instance of B. That's actually not as simple, is it? And then you could also have a pattern as well. So you could say A is instance of BB kind of thing. And then you can also do, like, I think you can do destruction there as well. So I think it makes sense to do the left, right? Because if we can't just instantly look for an instance of, then the best thing to do is look for the left, which could be anything, right? Or well, pretty much anything, not literally anything, because it couldn't be like a Boolean expression or something. So that's fine. This just needs to be left angled bracket. Is that what I called it? And then this is right angled bracket. Yes, okay. So we pass the left, then we check if the next token is any of these. I think that's fine. But we could also look for instance of as well, because we've already passed the left expression at this point. So the next one could be instance of, which I think is instance of keyword. Yes, it is. Good. Then we just do the normal stuff, I guess. Now the right hand side though is probably a little bit different if it's an instance of. This is a while loop, so that's fine, because obviously you could do like a is less than something, which is less than something, which is greater than something. So it kind of just goes, it can go infinitely, right? So they all just need to be nested inside of this single relational expression, which is fine. And then, yeah, shift is basically the one after, but we need to be able to handle instance of, which is a little bit more complicated. I think the best way to handle instance of, because we can grab the operator here, so this should be the instance of, right? So I should be able to say if operator dot type is equal instance of keyword, then effectively we just want to pass the right hand side. And here we're going to have to do some kind of look ahead, because we need to know if it's going to be a pattern or if it's just going to be like a variable. So yeah, either way we'll have a type preference, but then we need to know what comes after the type preference. I guess the problem though is that if it's a pattern, it won't be a type preference, will it? Because when you're destructuring, if I do like, you know, left is instance of I don't know, lambda expression, right? Then I can kind of, I can turn this into a pattern. I don't actually know how you do it. Is it like this? Yeah. Okay, so, but no, we can always look for a type. We can always look for a type. We just need to know what's after the type. So if what's after the type is a open parenthesis, I guess, would probably be the best way to go. Yeah. I love making an entire parser just to add colors to text. I mean, we're not just doing it for that though. We're doing this for a lot more than just syntax highlighting. I mean, yes, it will significantly help with the syntax highlighting, because yeah, like that would be horrific if we just kind of stuck with what we have, because the current one isn't great. Is this the correct? No, it's lowercase like that. So what does this have in it? So span, expression, pattern, right? Because the pattern can be like if we go in here and we look at the pattern, go to implementations, we have match all, just like a normal one. Then we have a record and type test. Oh no, match all is underscore, right? And then type test is, I think, just the normal one. I think. Yeah. Now, I have a question. I'm really hoping I don't have to worry about this, but can I do at not null? No, thank goodness. I'm very glad. I mean, you can obviously, I guess, do that here. Could you do like, I don't think you can do like this, can you? No, good. Okay, fantastic. If you could, that would be hell. I wouldn't want to have to try and deal with that, so that's great. So we just have to pass a pattern, to be honest. So can I just do pass pattern? What does pass pattern do? If you match an underscore, then it's a match all pattern. And then we pass. Where am I using this right now? Okay. What about the other place? This one. Oh, that's like inside of it. Right. Match underscore. Let me take modifiers. So this is kind of suggesting that you can have modifiers. You can't have modifiers, right? And we just proved that you can't have modifiers. Why are you like this, IntelliJ? So Fortnite, welcome to the stream. Expression. I guess. I guess we don't need a type ref then, right? And yeah, this is just the else statement. So I guess patterns themselves actually handle the type. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay, I see. So what it? Okay, I see. I see. So you would have your modifiers annotations. Then you have the type reference. Then you handle the open parentheses. Then the variable. So that actually all happens inside of pass pattern, basically. So we don't have to do any extra work, which is great. That actually saves us a significant amount of time, so I will take that as a massive win. Next is shift expressions. Now, shift expressions, let me have a look at what these are. Okay, yeah, so those are just left shift, right shift, and then is it unsigned right shift, I think? Is that correct? Where is it? Where's unsigned right shift? Oh, I guess that doesn't exist. We can't look for unsigned right shift because you could have generics, right? If you had, for example, a list of a list, right, of string, this is technically an unsigned right shift. The same that if I didn't have this one and I just had string, that would be a normal right shift, and like this one would just be greater than. So there has to be a way to differentiate them, which is why we don't have an actual token for any right shift. Left shifts we do, I think we do have a left shift, yes, because you can't have like a list like that. Like that just doesn't make any sense. So yes, that's correct. So shifts, these are going to be a little bit complicated because of that. It's going to kind of throw everything off. Let's see what. Okay, this is not correct. It's trying to pass the pattern, but we're already passing the pattern. So we want pass shift expression. Now, yeah, obviously we need to find a way to look for these. So this is obviously going to be a little bit more complicated because we're going to have to basically make a method to do this. So let's have a private boolean is next right shift. Next is any right angle brackets. And yeah, that basically. And then we want the other one as well. So private boolean is next unsigned right shift. Basically does the exact same thing. And then what we can do, if while next is any left shift, or next is right shift, or next is unsigned right shift, then we do that. Then we have to find a way to grab the actual token, which is going to be more complicated. Because we don't have a token. Okay, well, maybe we should have a token and just not put it in the map of tokens. Right, so maybe we should have a right shift and an unsigned right shift. And just don't put them in our big multi-char map. That's probably the best way to do this. And then that means I can still have the right shift token inside of there. Yeah, that's probably the best way to do. Best way to do it. Yeah, that would be fine. So let's do a private token of a Java token type read or advance or advance shift. Yeah, now that's not going to work because, yeah, so what I will have to do is I'll have to have like a span start, and then I'll have to return a new simple token, which will take in the span. Oh god, it takes in a lot of things. Oh no. Oh, bugger. Right, because advanced just gives us the token. Oh, buffer. Oh, right. Oh, because that gets... Oh, okay. So we're going to have to reconstruct the token then. Which is going to be a pain in the butt. But that's kind of the only choice. So we need the type, first of all. Then we need the lexeme, which is going to be that. Then we need... Okay. Let's do our pre-advances, actually. So, span... Okay, then we can do span.start, span.end. I don't think those are the methods, though. It's pause. And then... What we can do at start.pause. Wait, can we? No. We have to do span.pause, I think. And then we can do span.endPause. And then... Wait, can we just... Can we not have a... Huh. I thought I maybe had a static method to save me some time here, but I don't. That's unfortunate. Then we have the line. So... Do we have span.line? Yes. Span.column. Span. Okay, then we need the token channel. I don't know what the token channel is. I'm just going to use default, I think. And then the next one is set token flags, which will just be set. Or does empty set exist? Selection style empty set. That's the one I was looking for. Okay, then we just have to do the exact same thing here. Like that. And then we don't need to do that for... Well, this one doesn't exist. So this is just a left shift. Because that will automatically be handled. Yeah. Yeah. That'll be fine. So then what this can be is this can just be advanced shift. Let's do advanced shift operator, so this is a little bit more clear exactly what that is doing. Okay, now I'm going to move these down like to the bottom somewhere so I don't have to keep looking at them, just because they're otherwise unnecessarily going to be in the way. Okay, we've reached 2,000 lines, chat. 2,000 lines. This is getting kind of crazy. We're not even halfway done. I don't think. I actually don't know how far done we are, but I don't think we're very far done. Okay, now additive expressions are just plus and minus. So this one's nice and simple. But obviously the left-hand side could be a multiplication. So we have to do private expression. Pass additive. Yep, and that'll just pass a multi. Why is that such a hard word to say? A multiplicative. Multiplicative. Am I saying that right? Multiplicative. Sure, we'll go with that. Now the left hand side though Oh no, that's fine, because I think it forms a binary expression. So I think that's fine, right? Is that correct? So yeah, because we're gonna have to. Yeah, we have a multi blah 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 on the left hand side, right? Because if we look at the JLS, that's what it says, right? So it's basically this. Yeah, and then that will move to the right hand side here, basically, once we're in this while loop. So then we have basically a plus or minus, and that's able to form the binary expression, which should be fine. Yeah. Okay. So next one is obviously multiplicator, which is going to be multiplication, division, and modulus. And then obviously the other one will be unary, which is going to be basically the next one. It doesn't like slash. I'm guessing that's because it wants it to be divide. Yes, that's correct. I kind of prefer it being slash though, just in case. You never know what Java's going to do in the future. Okay, so unary though is where things get a little bit more complicated. Because this is where we have, yeah, this is where things get quite complicated, because we have a lot of different things that can happen here. So obviously a unary could just be like a not, right? So a unary could be like not my boolean, but a unary could also be plus plus my number. It could be minus minus my number. It could be this one, my boolean, I think that one's for. It could be just plus or minus my number, right? So you could do plus my number minus my number. Is there any others? I think casting is technically a unary, I think. So I think if you're doing like int my number, that's a unary expression, because basically it's this before this. And then the JLS says that switch expressions are also in there, and postfix expressions are also in there. So postfix is like names and those kind of things. Switch, I'm gonna have a look at switch. What does it say? Yeah, so that's quite literally a switch expression. Which shouldn't be too bad, because we've already done most of the stuff for switch statements. So hopefully we can just do kind of the same thing. So that one shouldn't be too bad. But let's start with this one. And so let's do expression. Parse unary expression. Now, yeah, so this is going to get complicated because, yeah, all of these different things that it could be. trying to see, actually, what did I do in my language? Because I did do unary expressions, kind of. Like, it kind of worked. But it was a little bit weird. I don't know that I, like, ever got it to work. God, I've got to find it. There it is. I'm kind of realizing that every time I go back and look at this, and I think, oh, this is going to be so useful, it ends up being incredibly not useful. Because I didn't cover as much as I always think I did. Yeah. The problem is, with casting here. I think probably the best thing to do is just to look for the ones that we know will just like, they'll just work, right? So the best thing to do is, say, for example, if match or if next is any plus plus. Question, do we have a new pre-increment? No. Do we have a... What do we have? A... What would I have called them? Do we have a prefix expression? No. What do I call... I must have it. I must have such a thing. If we go expression, the conditional, we have unary. I guess it's just unary then. Which, speaking of, this needs to be a token of a Java token type. And then I can just do operator like that. And it doesn't like that because this needs to be a Lexa token. There we go. So then we can say if next is any plus plus, minus minus, then we can do plus minus we can do the squiggly thing. What's the squiggly thing called? Don't know. What's the squiggly thing called? Tilde. I never remember the name of that thing. Tilde or exclamation mark. If it's any of those, then all we need to do is return kind of? Yeah, kind of. Kinda. But it's a little bit unnecessary. I think it's just better to do a new unary expression. Then to do span from start. We can do advanced. We can do a new Lexa token. Which takes in span from... Oh, no, we can't because we haven't advanced. But we can match. Right? We can match? No. We can do match any. I guess that won't work. Bugger. Checked. Okay, fine. We'll just have to do it like this, though. you go. Bro, my heart can't take this. I'm sorry, Wide. I did say in the Railroad chat I might do a surprise stream this week, but yeah, I didn't say when I was gonna do it, so. Also, you're back on the parser. Are you done with the project? So I'm not done with the project creation. I honestly just kind of want to get back on the parser, but I'm probably gonna do. I'm hopefully gonna finish off the project creation either off stream or kind of normal stream times. So Saturday, Sunday. I mean, it is almost done. I have almost got it there. But yeah, I haven't added all the steps yet, but that shouldn't take too long. I've just been kind of refactoring how it fundamentally has been working at the moment. But yeah, it's almost there. The only thing I need to do is the main thing I need to do is the selection one, where you select the thing and then you can do the thing in there and then go back. But I just haven't done that yet. So now, ChatGPT says that pluses and minuses are different. So apparently those need to be handled recursively, which makes sense because you could do like this, right? My int, I think. If you have int my int, can you? Is equal 0? You can't? But you could do like this, right? Or you could do int other int is equal minus. No, but you can do like minus plus. Yeah, so you can alternate. As weird as it would be, you can do this. Yeah, unary plus operators are so weird. Like, why does that even exist? You would literally never use it. Or whatever. So I have to be able to handle this somehow. Let's put that up here. So I think let's do plus and minus differently, I guess. So like these ones are fine. Also, if it's plus or minus, yeah. This one is prefix false, but that's not correct. We need to do like while. Like if we have like how do we do this actually? Next is any plus or minus. Maybe then we just go ahead and return return past unary plus minus, and then we can just handle that in that method. That's probably the best way to do that. And then yeah, we are going to have to deal with post fixes as well, I think. Yeah, post fixes we might have to deal with, which is basically anything that can come after one of these. So it could be a variable name, it could be like post increments. So obviously you can do like my number plus plus or my number minus minus. And then also it can be a primary, which is, I think, like literals, right? Yeah. Yeah, so like this dot or super dot or array access, so you know, like whatever. But we'll come back to that because we have to be able to do the other ones first. And these ones are going to be paid. So we have casting. Casting shouldn't be too bad. The only problem is we have to be able to handle parenthesized expressions. Are you going to add Lombok support? I don't see why not. I can't imagine that's too difficult. I mean, it would be done by a plugin, probably. You know, I don't see why we would build that into the actual IDE itself, but as a plugin, it seems like a reasonable kind of like a default plugin that we would have. Okay, next thing to do is casting. So if next is any, open parenthesis, then we just want to return past cast expression. I think. No, because the point is that it might not be. Okay, the best way to do this would be to say, what did we call that method earlier? That checks if it's the thing, and then if it's the thing, it does the thing, or it doesn't do the thing. I'm looking for this one, is lambda header. So what we can do is we can say if is cast is cast expression. Oh my god, stop. I'm gonna lose it. Okay. And then that will return past cast expression. And then the other one is just postfix, right? Or are we missing anything? I guess we should have if next is any, open parenthesis. Then what we do is if is cast expression start, else return past postfix. Yeah. Which I guess is the same as just doing this, isn't it? Oh, when you switch expressions though, we do need to switch expression. So what we should also say is if next is any, switch keyword, then yeah, do that basically. So we just pass switch expression, which I think is fine. And then we fall back to postfix. Okay, let's go one by one. So first of all, let's do unary plus or minus, since that's obviously the first one. So expression plus unary plus or minus, and basically this should recursively do that. literal expression. I don't think that's correct. It should be recursive, right? Because it's just a plus or minus followed by another unary expression, right? So we basically go back to this, is the idea that of how that works. So I guess we do that. Like we have a list of operators. And then we just loop back, like just combining them until we eventually get the expression we want, I guess. Or oh wait, no, because this just does that. So I don't need anything different. I'm overcomplicating it, right? I think I'm overcomplicating it. Because basically all the logic that we would actually like need to do is already done here. Because all this is doing is it's taking the operator, right? So that'd be the plus or the minus. And then it's going back and passing a unary expression, which brings us back to here, which then checks if it's a plus or a minus, which goes back in here, and that just loops and loops and loops. And then eventually that comes back to here and gives us the unary expression. So in actuality, we don't need to do anything with that. And we don't need this method. I think I was massively overcomplicating it. Which is why Copilot was also getting confused. Because, yeah. So, okay, let's see what... Is this a thing I have? No. Right. Well... Okay, what is this even doing? Probably it is so offset is obviously 1. If it's not an open parenthesis, we just return false. Then we increase the offset whilst type of the offset is a left-angled bracket. Why on earth would it be a left-angled bracket? I'm confused. I'm very, very confused. How on earth could it be a left-angled bracket? I'm gonna have to look at the JLS. Or, I mean, Copilot could just be like on some shit. I think it can be, you know. Wait, no, it can't. So it can either be a primitive type or a reference type. So like this just isn't like a thing. Like what? Like, why is it doing that? So then we need to know if next is any. Now I don't have a way to do that though. Unless I actually have a is primitive? No, but you know what I do have? I have look ahead type offset, and then I have is primitive, don't I? No. I have is modifier, is assignment operator. I mean, I can just do look ahead, I guess. If I look ahead, then I can do... Never mind, that doesn't help me. Huh. I thought... In fact, I could have sworn... I mean, I have is modifier, but that's not helpful, is it? You know what I can try and do? I can look in here and look for the, for example, int keyword. And then I can see probably this one. Nope. So then that means it's the other one. It's this one. Nope. That's not helpful then, is it? Copilot was probably onto something though with next is any at. That probably is a good idea to have that method. Right? I think that's fine. So let's not do this, please. Yeah, actually. Types. So then look ahead type. If next type is equal type. Yeah, basically that. Now this honestly should be public, and it should be in the superclass. So I'm gonna do refactor move method. All members up, I guess. Do I want to pull them up? Yeah. Which just means that in here basically does that for me. Now I'm not convinced these are right, so I think they're the same, aren't they? Yeah, they are. It's just a different order, but that's fine. So if it's not any of these, then it returns false. Yeah, because we get, yeah, so we could be casting to like a type, for example, like a integer, or we could be casting to like int. So that's fine. And then once look ahead is a dot, then we increase the offset, and then we look for type offset is not equal to an identifier, but yeah, because you can't do like int dot, you know, something, because that doesn't exist, so it has to be yeah, that's fine. Whilst the type is equal to an open bracket, offset plus plus. Yeah, I think that looks right. I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. Okay, there's so many other things that I have I have to figure out as well. So I also have to be able to handle annotations. And apparently type arguments, but I don't understand how that's possible. Am I dumb, guys? Can you do, like... How would that even work, though? Like, can I do list of string? Test list is equal... like this? List of t to like null, whatever. But can you do that? Or like, how would that even work though? Because now both Copilot and ChatGPT have said that it has type arguments, which doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, obviously you could do this, right? I don't think you can have type arguments. Yeah, so the problem is you can have annotations, which is like not good. Okay, so I think ChatGPT says I'm very much overcomplicating this, basically. And it reckons I just say if next is a primitive keyword, then it's definitely a cast. That makes sense. So if next is a primitive keyword, then it's a cast. So basically any of these. So if next is any of these, return true. Right? So then the next thing to do after that is to say basically, if next is an identifier or an @, So the problem is now between if you have an identifier. Because if you have an identifier, you could be doing a cast. So, for example, integer of my int. Or you could be doing a parenthesized thing. So you could be doing like my int, well, even like this, really, right? So it's kind of hard to determine because in between those brackets you could have basically anything, right? You could do a.b.c.d.e. I think so. Basically, if you have a so if you have a opening or a left, so if next is any at offset, and we're saying it's a left, what's it called? Open. No, it's left, isn't it? Left angle bracket. Because if it's a left angle bracket, then that means it basically has to be. I guess it doesn't have to be. Does it? Because you could do like, yeah, it doesn't have to be. Shit, man. Because you could do my class, left angle bracket, right? Some type, right? You know, string dot some method, right? Or wait, no, you can't. Never mind, no, you can't. It's the other way around. You have to do it like that, don't you? So yes, if it's a left angle bracket, that means it is just a cast. So the problem is like with this, right? How do I figure out if this is a cast or if this is not a cast? That's actually really hard. Because I don't particularly want to have to parse annotations and parse all the different like types and like all of those things just to figure out if it's a cast versus a parenthesized expression. But I feel like I don't have a choice. To get out what on earth to do here. Maybe we'll come back to this one. I think else we're fine to return false. I think we're better off probably coming back to that one. Admittedly though, parsing cast expressions isn't easy. Okay, so ChatGPT says that I shouldn't actually try to parse it. Is what it reckons. It thinks it should just always be a parenthesized expression, and then during semantic analysis, I can figure out what it is, because I guess during semantic analysis, I would know if what I have in it, so say, you know, my class, I know if that's an identifier, or if it's a type. Because if it's a type, then yeah, during semantic analysis I can say, okay, it must be a cast. But if it's not, and if it's an identifier, then it knows it's just a parenthesized expression. So basically I just need to return false, is what we're saying. In actual fact, it thinks I should just return false here in general. Hello, I am new to coding. Any tips on how to learn and get better? My best advice that I can give you is just do projects, right? Just make projects. It doesn't have to be a big project. It doesn't have to be a complex project. Just make projects. Think of something. My go-to for what I say to people is usually just a web app, right? So it can just be in the terminal, that's fine, right? And you would do something like /weather London, right? And the idea is that you would get it to respond with the weather in London. So, you know, temperature, rain, whatever. That's honestly like a good first project, because you have to, you're forced to learn a lot. So that kind of thing is really good, but it doesn't have to be that, of course, because some people would find that very boring. So another good one is like some kind of RPG game, right, in the terminal. So you would say, for example, your character meets a turn in the road. Do you want them to go left or right? If they go left, you say, I don't know, some random event happens. So your character has found a cave. Would you like to go in the cave or don't go in the cave? If they decide to go in the cave, then you could say, would your character like to, I don't know, you know, you get the point, right? So you could do that kind of thing as well. My other advice is learn to Google. As crazy as it sounds, honestly, knowing how to Google is actually genuinely, I think, the most important thing in learning to code. If you can't Google, you're not going to be a programmer. I'll be honest with you, it's just not going to happen. I mean, I guess, you know, unless you want to become a vibe coder, but you know, we don't talk about those people. So yeah, that's what I would say, personally. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. So if it is a left angle, we're going to go back to what we had before, because I think this one was actually fine, right? If it's a left angle bracket, it is a cast expression. There's no need to ever say otherwise, because that's just how it is. Else I'm just going to return false. I don't see any need to do anything different, right? I guess I could say kind of what Copilot or what ChatGPT is giving me here. Basically this. So if we find a dot, we go ahead. If we look ahead and it's not an identifier, then we just return false. That's fine, I feel like. Else I'm just going to return false. Like that. Alright, I'll look into it because I want to learn coding for Minecraft, but I'm also new to Java and know Python. Yeah, I'd recommend also, it depends how your learning style is, right? But if you prefer like a course to follow, there is one primary one that I would recommend, and that is this one. I just put the link in chat. It is the Java course from the University of Helsinki. And it's really good. They have a bunch of exercises for each of the ones, so you can just do the exercises. And it's a good way to learn if you prefer that kind of thing. But obviously, if you prefer to do projects, which I imagine most people prefer to do projects rather than reading some you know, stupidly long, just words, you know, on a on a screen, then I'd recommend, you know, it's basically the two choices. There are also a couple YouTube series. Let me try and find the one that I think's the best. You know, God, I'm not gonna be able to find the good one. There's a couple decent ones, but you've got to be careful not to find one that's like really old, because the really old ones tend to not be that useful. There is a so like Brocode has one, and it's okay. Let me just have a quick look. This is the one I think it is. I'm gonna quickly skim through it. Yeah, the Brocode one's really good actually. It covers like multi-threading and stuff towards the end, which is really good. And this is a fairly updated one. I will also link this in chat actually, because that's a pretty good one. There are a couple others. I wouldn't personally recommend them though. Like quite a few of them are about like 6 years ago. You just don't really want those ones because they're a bit old. 6 years ago, 7 years ago, we're talking Java 8, Java 9. It's fine, but you'll find it lacks a lot of things. Is there any others that I can see on here? Not really. You'll find a lot of like learn Java in 15-minute type videos. Just don't bother with those. They're good if you already have experience with a different language, but otherwise I wouldn't recommend those. Needless to say. I shouldn't need to say that, to be honest, because I think it's pretty obvious. If it says learn an entire language in 15 minutes, it's probably a lie. It's not necessarily a lie, like you can if you have experience, but most people watching those probably don't. So this is a load of baloney. This is unnecessary. Yeah, anyways, things are getting a little bit complicated now. So postfix expressions. Let's look at all the different postfix expressions. I have accidentally, I think, lost my tab again. There it is. So yes, this starts off correct. We do want to pass a primary expression. Okay. And then we have a couple options. So we have expression name, and then we have post increment and post decrement. So a name is relatively simple, actually. A name is just an identifier which can be followed by a couple dots. So yeah, the best thing to do here, yeah, see, the problem with trying to pass the names is that it could be name plus plus. It could be name dot other name plus plus, which is both a name and a plus plus. We somehow have to look for that plus plus. I genuinely don't know how the hell we would do that. So it's able to pass the primary expression, right? So what is a primary expression again? It is a literal or an array creation expression. Okay. Okay, not helpful. Copilot has completely lost the plot here. This is not what we want. I can't do that. We don't want to worry about these. I genuinely don't know what Copilot's trying to do right now, because it's trying to do basically parse primary expression, which isn't what we want. So, bit weird, but sure. Okay. I guess the question is, what is a primary expression? Let me have a look at primary again. There's a literal, a class literal. It could be this. It could be type name dot this. Could be expression. Could be a class instance creation expression, a field access, an array access, a method invocation, and a method reference. I guess like a field access. Could just be an identifier, right? Is that correct? No. So field access is when you're doing something dot something. So what if I just want a name? And also I can have a name, but the problem is it could be, you have to be careful, because it could be a postfix, which could be a post increment. And a post increment is a postfix followed by a plus plus. I don't know. Okay, so should we do... Okay, so like a primary, right, could be like this dot something. It could be just an expression, like parenthesized. It could be like a new something. So then we have to be able to handle basically a dot or a method call, or access an array, or method references. Is that what? Okay, that is actually what it's trying to do here. Interesting. Okay, it actually might be onto something though. Let's go one at a time though. if we match dots, get rid of all of this. What do we do if we're matching a dot? Well, that means it's a field access. A field access. Yeah, basically a field access. You can do. There's already. Wait, can you do that? I need to test this. ChatGPT has said a thing exists, and I don't know if I believe that this thing exists. Sure, that will do for now. Whatever. Can I do... Wait, so how would that work, though? So apparently, I can do Java parser, dot this, dot new, cast info. Or would I do that in here? Oh, but this is static, that's why. You can do this? Oh my god. You can do that. Why can you do that? What? How is that any different than just doing this, though? Why would... What? What? Wait, why can you do that? I've never seen this in my entire life. Wait, can I just do this dot new? Cast info? No. So why... You can't do super, it has to be this. Hello MB Media, welcome to the stream. Why is this a thing? This complicates things so friggin' much as well. This being a thing. Oh man. Okay. What is Copilot trying to do here? Let's first figure out what the hell Copilot's trying to do. So, if we match a dot, and then we match a super. If we then match a dot again, then we take a name expression. If we match an open parenthesis, else it's just a super field access. But a super field access could also access something. No? Like, couldn't I do I don't know, Java parser dot super dot diagnostics dot, you know, I don't think there's any actual like fields in diagnostics, but if there were, no reason why you couldn't access those, right? I think Copilot's a little bit lost there. Also, this just doesn't need to exist. Let's get rid of that. Have you had a nice day? It was alright. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. All I've done today, to be honest, has been rewriting my CV. That's it. That's actually all I've done today. And watching some YouTube. That's all I've done. Yeah, I think that's all I've done. So nothing exciting. But that is how it is. This isn't correct. This is going to be really hard. No? Right. I feel like this is really hard. I mean, if we have a dot. Okay, if we have a dot, and then... okay, no, let's not Copilot, please. Get rid of Copilot for a second. If it's a dot and it's followed by an identifier, then it's a field access, right? I think that's basically, that's what we need to, that's how we need to look at this, right? So if next is any identifier, then it's a field access. So we can just take the identifier. Let me bring Copilot back for a second. Hopefully it's gonna... Identifier, name, expression, if match, open parenthesis. Oh shit, because it could be a method call. Couldn't it? Wait, but no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be. Because that would be handled by past primary expression. So no, it wouldn't be. Okay, stop. What is IntelliJ doing? Stop, please. Okay, I don't know what the hell it just did. Things were moving about and I don't like it. Yeah, so if we get an identifier, if match dots, then it's an identifier, then it's a field access. So in that case, I have to return a new field access expression, which takes in an expression and a name. This should be a name. Name. Is that not a thing I have? Is that not what I called it? What did I call it, guys? Generic. I called it a name, no? Did I not? Literal? Am I crazy? Wait. Parameter. That has name expression. Wait. Oh, have I renamed it to name expression? I have, yes. Name expression name. So then basically that takes in the expression, then it takes in a name expression. The name expression takes in the span from the identifier and then a list of that. So just a single one. Yeah. Okay. Else, if next is any, this keyword, then it's just a this, right? So this expression just takes in an optional class or interface type ref, which is the qualifier. Well, yeah, kind of, I guess. Expression is instance of a type ref, I guess. like that. Oh no, it can't be a type ref though. There's a type expression though, right? No? Shit. There should be. There should be. Or... I guess it's just... Well... I don't know. We'll come back to it. Okay, else if it's a super, then you do the same thing. And else if next is any new, then we're gonna grab the new. And this will be a new. Oh, new. What is that a thing? New. What do I call it? Oh, an object creation expression. But no, because we're going to need a custom one for that. Okay. Now, if we don't match a dot, else if next is any open parenthesis, then yeah, then it's a method called expression. Yeah. Also, if it's an open bracket, then it's an array access expression. Yeah, that's correct. Next one we should go for is the double colon. So next is any double colon. Then we just want to do a method reference. So we will do token. We don't need the operator actually, we can just do a match. Right? And then I guess just do or expression equal pass method reference expression, and then we just want to know if it's a plus plus or a minus minus. In which case it's a. I think we have a new postfix, right? We apparently don't. We kind of do need it though. How do I not have that? Do we need it? Yeah, because we need to know if it's before or after, right? And we've... Oh, no, because we handle that in here. We have a boolean. Yeah. We have a boolean. Okay, that's fine. We just need to modify this, though. So this needs to be a list of AST node children. If it's prefix, then we do operator first. Yeah. Basically that. So then I just return that. So just make sure they'll be in the right order, which is fine. Yeah, all good. Else we want to break, I think, because we need a way to break, basically. And here I think this actually just needs to be like expression is equal that. Yeah, I think that one's fine. I guess I could return expression. Return expression like that. So the thing is, I can't do this expression because I need to know that basically the thing before it is a qualifier. Let me check if that's how the JLS actually works, though, because that doesn't seem right, does it? So let me open up the JLS again, and I'm going to look for this expression. This expression. That is apparently not a thing. Huh. This expression. Expression. Super expression. Huh. There's apparently just not a thing. Even though a primary... Oh, I see. Interesting. So, they're just like, yeah, okay. So this expression shouldn't have a qualifier. That's not necessary. This just needs to be nothing. This just needs to be an empty list. List of, or we can do a collections dot empty list. And as I said kind of before, we are going to have to modify all of these at some point to have like white space and comments and Java docs and stuff, but we'll get to that, you know, when time comes. So all this takes in is a span, so we don't even need that. We just need to match. Yes, right, there is a lot to do. I think I should update the dot though, right? I think. So probably doing start is equal current span, because otherwise that's not gonna be correct. Yeah. Yeah, things are gonna take a while, man. We're not close to being done yet. I mean, to be fair, like comments and white space and stuff, they're not that important. You know, like it's not an essential thing. It's just like if we don't have them, things like auto formatting and stuff just become a bit weird, or like basically impossible to do. Which is kind of why, but they're not essential. Like for the majority of things, it won't really matter. They will be essential if we want like syntax highlighting for comments and Java docs and that kind of thing. So to that degree, they will be essential. Okay, news are kind of a pain in the butts, aren't they? I'm trying to find it on the JLS, and I actually don't know. I actually can't find it. What the hell? What? Am I crazy? Are they not called what I... No? No? I may have found it. I found a ray creation expression. Creation expression? No. 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 Okay, would you like to not, please? Ray creation expressions, anonymous constructors, anonymous class declaration. Class instance creation expression. Here we go. Ah, but it doesn't have a... Oh no, it does. It does. Okay. Yeah. That's gonna need to be a thing, basically. I mean, this doesn't need to be a thing, though. It just needs to be like that. Get rid of that. This just needs to be a match. This needs to be a match. Like that. Okay. We're kind of making progress. Kind of. How many lines are we at now? 2,157. Oh yeah. Okay. What's the easiest one to do from now? Class instance creation expressions are actually a pain in the butt because look at this. Look at this. This is how all the different ways in which you can create a class. You can do unqualified, which is a new, and then you can do type arguments, you can do the class argument list, and then you can also do an optional class body. Class or interface could be annotations, it can be an identifier dot annotations, and then you can have more type arguments, or it could be an expression name followed by one of those, or a primary followed by one of those. This is going to be a pain, man. Okay, well, I think we'll try it. We'll try. So private expression class instance creation expression. Yeah. Okay. I think I've actually called it object creation expression, haven't I? I have. Is that bad? Oh. Yeah, it's fine. Minor issue. Expect new. Well, that's kind of silly, isn't it? What's the point of that? What the hell is the point of that? That's so dumb. That's so dumb. Oh, wait. I have here. Oh, yeah, this is dumb. Wait, is this dumb? Oh, class declaration. Yeah. This is dumb. This is really dumb. Get out of here. Go. So we expect a new keyword, regardless, right? That's kind of essential. Wait, no, it's not. Shit. Or it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, it's not essential. Because as we talked about earlier, you can do my class dot this dot new in the class, right? And then obviously you could do like this, and then you can like override methods and shit. You can do type parameters. You can do, I don't know if you could do like this. I don't know if that's a thing you can do. I hope not. This is where you start to realize that Java is actually so much more complex than it looks, like under the hood. Because there's just so many like weird things you could do. Oh my god. I'm making me tired, man. Because my brain's having to work overtime right now. Okay. Thing is, how the fuck do we determine an expression name from a primary? I guess Wait. Oh my god, the light bulb may have just turned on in my brain. Okay. I've been reading this, trying to figure out like how the fuck do primary expressions work, because surely like this just makes it impossible to have like a new something rather than, you know, like it had to be like this dot new something, but it doesn't, because this is a while loop, and I didn't take in the fact that this is a while loop, so this doesn't have to run, so there doesn't have to be a dot or an open bracket or a plus or a minus or you know, so it could just be a primary expression, and a primary expression can be a class instance creation expression. So, in fact, Copilot was actually correct. We do actually have to have a span in here. Well, not this one. Yeah, not this one, because this one will go ahead and actually do that. So this will return a class instance creation expression, which will then take in start and optional.empty. Is that right? No, this isn't right. This is actually non-existent. We don't have that. So we have a span, and then we have a optional expression, which is, I don't know that scope is the right word, but I mean, basically, we're passing in span from start and optional of expression there. Yeah, and that has to be set to expression, because you can do, for example, new my class, and then afterwards you could decide to put a dot, right? Which means it has to go to the next step in the loop, which would then check it's a dot, and then it would see, oh, you're calling my method. Well, that looks like an identifier, so we'll make it a, that's actually not correct. Yeah, well, no, I guess that is correct. So that's a field access expression, and then it will go to the next one, and it will say, oh, you have an open parenthesis. Well, now we know that we have a method call, and then it will you know, go from there, basically. That just clicked in my head. Previously, yeah. Okay. I get it. So the way this works is we have a new keyword. That's correct. As far as I can see, I don't see why that wouldn't be the case. What we can do actually. Well, no, this is fine. And then we can have type arguments. So yeah, Copilot's got that correct. Then we have a class or interface type, which I think we already have. We don't, bugger. Really hoping we had that. Oh no, we do. Does this handle annotations? Please handle annotations. Please. Shit. Ow. Oh my god, it doesn't handle annotations. Wait. How can you have annotations? That's not a thing. Is that a thing? Wait. Wait a goddamn second. Can you do that? No, surely not. Can you do a new return a new at not null? Like that? Oh my god, you can do that. What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck does that mean? What if I do this? I can't do that. What? What does this mean, though? How is this possible? Why would you ever do this? I'm learning some weird things today. I don't know whether to be concerned or to hate everything on this planet. But I'm not a fan. I don't know why this is a thing. But apparently it's a thing. I'm very much screenshotting that. Adding that to my bank of weird shit that you can do in Java. Good to know. Okay, so the problem is this doesn't let you do that. So please say that this lets you do that. No. No, it doesn't. Bugger. Oh. Okay. What we're gonna have to do is wait, can I do this? Can I do at not null at nullable, or can you only have one? Nope, you can have as many as you want. Okay. That actually simplifies things. So that means I can have a list of annotations. Annotations. Why can I not type? Annotations is equal to a new. Oh, do I have a parse annotations method? Oh, fantastic. Bloody-tastic. So that's the annotations. And then after that, we have an identifier, which is this, basically. Wait, what the fuck? What? Okay, now I'm even more confused. Chat, what the fuck does this mean? I understand that you can do a new, followed by an annotation, followed by an identifier, which might be like the class name. Oh. You can do... Oh my god. You can do... Return... Wait, I've got to wrap my head around this. So what I could do, this would be completely valid Java, assuming the classes were correct, right? I could do Java parser dot this dot my inner class. Wait, no. Wait. No, it has to be a new at not null my inner class dot my inner class. But wait, at nullable my inner class. And then I can add type arguments. And then I can do my parameters, so I don't know, 5, false, whatever. And then I can do this as well. This is completely valid Java. That is crazy. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And in fact, I could probably even make it like compile. Right? If I do public class, my inner class, it doesn't quite like it because oh, I can't make it not null for some reason. Oh, wait, I can't do that? But the Java doc says I can do that, so I think it's actually lying to me. I can't do this though, right? Yeah, that's true. So I could do like string though. Expression expected? What if I did T like that and then... Wait, why is it complaining at me? Is it because of these? Or is it because... It says that annotations are not allowed here, but according to the JLS, they are allowed there. Because you can do a dot, followed by an annotation, followed by an identifier. So, I think IntelliJ actually just doesn't support it. I'm pretty sure this compiles. And I'm pretty sure, like, this would compile too. Yeah, it does now. Okay, but it isn't like this. It isn't like this. Expression expected. Well, there is an expression. There's a new. Oh no, never mind. I see the issue. Because I've got these brackets there. That's why it doesn't know what to do. Oh, but then it doesn't like this for some reason. Well, why not? Okay, I've broken IntelliJ. I press import class and it doesn't know what to do anymore. I assume that's because I have the import up here somewhere, right? Is that what's broken it? Nope. IntelliJ actually just doesn't know what to do. But like, this is a thing. That's crazy. The fact that this is a thing is crazy, by the way. Like, if I do test class, I can probably make this completely reproducible. Right? And then if I do, like, public void test method, and then do this, and then do test class dot this. It doesn't like the my inner class, admittedly, but I'm pretty sure that's valid. I'm 99% sure this is valid Java, which is crazy because I don't know why you would ever do this. I'm gonna ask Gemini. Yeah, it's valid. It's crazy. Putting this in the programming channel. Just for everyone's absolute horror. There we go. Anyways, let's continue with where we were at after getting sidetracked by this absolute horrificness. So, how do we do this then? Because that makes this really fucking complicated. What does this do? How does this handle dots? Okay. I'm wondering if in that case this should handle, like, should the parts have annotations, I guess? Or how the fuck should this work? I don't know. A little bit lost with this one. So it has to have, like, the problem is that my classroom interface type refs don't currently support annotations, and the thing is, I don't think they should. Like, I don't think most cases of this should support annotations. If we look like here, for example, we have a non-array type reference, but you can't, I don't think, oh no, you can, can't you? Wait, you can, because you can do a new at not null integer array, right? Not like that, of course, but like that, or like that, I suppose. Yeah, I guess you have to make it a variable, but you can do that, right? You can do var. So in actuality, this does need to be able to handle that. So I need to come into here, and I need to grab the parts, and inside here, I need to have a list of annotation, which is the annotations. And then I need to do add all annotations. Yeah. And then I have to pass those in here. So before the identifier, I'm going to have to grab a list of annotations, which will pass the annotations. And then I just pass annotations into here, which greatly simplifies this, admittedly. Because that means that now up here, I don't have to do this. And in fact, all I do have to do is have a do while loop. So I have to have a list of class or interface type ref, which is the types, and then have a do types.add, like that, while we match a dot, and then at the end I just have to pass more type arguments, I think. Yeah, so I have to have type arguments or diamond, which basically means like this, or it can be like this, for example. But yeah, crazy. So what's the best way to do that then? Lovely question. What is the best way to do that? Well, I guess just doing this again? It could also be a diamond. Does this support diamonds? No. It doesn't. But I think that should be easy to easy to handle. Because I just need a list of type ref, like that, which is the like because these type arguments are the type arguments of the class, right? And then these type arguments are the type arguments of the constructor, right? So constructor type arguments, like that. And then the best way to do this is to match a left angle bracket to pass type reference while match comma. Yeah, basically. Now the only caveat is that if we match a right angle bracket straight away, then what we want to do is do constructor type arguments dot add a new wildcard, or is it, what the fuck is sugar? Like, no, Parser interface intersection. Don't know. What is sugar? Don't know. Where's wildcard? Not helpful. Okay, we need a diamond then, because we don't have one. So I'm gonna have to go into type ref and I'm gonna have to create a new record, which will be a type diamond, and which will have a span implements type ref. What are you doing now? Right now we are doing the class instance creation, which actually isn't too bad. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I'll take that as a win. Yeah, there you go. So we can just do if that, then we just close it off, else we do that. That's fine. So then it's a new type diamond, so we just need to do this, which means that I need to add type diamond to here. I would prefer that these are on new line. Thank you. Kind, so I'm going to need a new AST kind as well, which is fine. Which means I have to do type diamond. So type underscore diamond, like that. And then it has no children, and then we just do visitor.visit type diamond, which is a thing we need, of course. So let's go R visit type diamond, boom, boom. Okay, and then yeah, the next thing is we just need to do the parameters, which is just a list of expressions. So a list of expression arguments, and then expect open parenthesis. If next is not a closed brace, then we just pass an expression whilst we match a comma. That's correct. And then finally we just need to pass a body as well. Be the class body, which I'm hoping Copilot knows what to do. Match open brace. What? What the fuck? No. No. What are you doing? If next is any open brace, then no, this needs to be a, oh shit, it kind of is a class declaration, huh? Well, I guess I just want to, oh shit, can I not do that? Pass class declaration. What is that? What is the point of making railroad versus using the IDE for Minecraft mods right now? Right now, there is no point. That doesn't make any sense. But yes, eventually it will be obviously different. I've talked about this many times, but we're going to have lots of features that will make it useful for Minecraft modding. I'm not going to list them again. At some point I need to make a list, and I just need to have that list kind of on hand somehow, rather than trying to come up with the list every single time and probably forgetting things every single time, because there are like so many features we want. The one that always comes to mind, because it genuinely probably just because it's the most useful for me rather than anything else, will be the mix-in debugging and like inline mix-ins and that kind of stuff. But for the average Joe, it will just be having things directly integrated into your IDE, right? So having a texture editor in your IDE, having a GUI editor in your IDE, having a model viewer, at least. We don't know if we're going to have a model editor yet, but we're going to have a model viewer. Having MBT viewers, having structure viewers, having I think we're probably going to have like a region viewer as well, so you can view world regions, possibly even like a mini like MC edit type thing as well, maybe. I don't know. That's obviously like far future kind of thing. Probably a built-in structure editor is something I would quite like to have. What else? I'd like to have some kind of like particle editor, so that it can so there's an easy way to make particles. That'd be pretty cool, but I don't know how feasible that is. We're obviously going to have like audio visualizers. I don't know if we're going to have an audio editor. Probably not. I imagine that's a little bit out of scope, but a visualizer at least, and like just basic playback and stuff, that would be reasonable. We're going to have obviously all the JSON editors, so basically everything Misode has is something we're going to have. Is there anything else that I can think of? We're going to have obviously loads of different inspections that will run. So for example, if you mistype your mod ID, it's going to tell you mistyped your mod ID, rather than waiting till you run the game and figuring it out. Anything else that I can think of? I don't know. You should make a Q&A page. I feel like these questions get asked a lot. They do, but I'm lazy. I don't have time to make a Q&A. Well, yeah, I actually just don't have time to make a Q&A page. Feel free to make one. The wiki's open source, or well, the docs are open source. Or well, would we actually want it on the docs though? Probably not. It'd probably be better off just on the GitHub, I guess, in the README. That would make the most sense. Because the README doesn't really have anything on it, admittedly. Like if I go in here, we don't really have anything on here. Like we have an FAQ, but it's not really relevant. I mean, like all of these are like valid questions, but they're not like, nothing here actually explains the project, which admittedly it should be. Also, this needs to be updated to 2025. Is that updated on dev branch or no? No, this needs to be 2025. Oh dear. Okay, that's linked. That's good. Probably not what I would have put there. Just yes, like it could be on here, but the thing is, this is just a docs website. I mean, eventually my plan is to turn this into docs.railroadide.dev, but since we don't have an actual website right now, that just makes the most sense. Finding. It just makes sense like this. I mean, I guess we have like the building guide on here, so how you can actually run it and stuff. Oh, speaking of, whilst I'm here, I just want to check if that guy ever actually edited his PR or not. I think the answer to that is no. I told him we're not going to have an env.rc, and he hasn't removed it. So I won't be accepting it. And I will convert it to a draft. Anyways, yes. So, is it a class declaration we actually have here? It's a class body. So it's not a declaration, it's a body. Do we have a class body? We have a class body declaration. What is that? Oh, no, never mind. That's like that is not what I thought it is. I guess it's just a class declaration, isn't it? Class declaration Then the class declaration has like modifiers and annotations and stuff. We need, you know what we need? We need an anonymous class. Anonymous class declaration. Like all of these libraries have. What is this? It just has a list of body declarations. That's it? I guess that makes sense, actually. That is all it is, isn't it? Just a list of body declarations. Sure. Let's make this. Don't import that, though. It's going to import it again. I don't know why I did that. It's just going to do it again. New class, anonymous class body declaration, record, and this will just have a span, and a list of class. Nope. A span, and a list of class body declaration, which is the body declarations. And this will just implement AST node, I guess. That's all it is. I don't think it's anything else. Boom, and then go to that. We just need all of these. stkind.that. We need that. We need that. Let's go into here. Go anonymous class declaration. Yeah, like that basically. And then we have the same thing in here. So we have our like that. Nice. That's basically that one done. And then we can just pass basically a list of thingy things. So we can just have a list of class body declaration. Hopefully we have a way to just do that. I don't know if we do though. Pass class body declaration. We do. Declarations, and then what was it? Oh no, it was the name. It's the name. So the name is, well, we don't actually know what the name is. I guess well, I guess we kind of do. I guess it's this. But the problem with that is this wants a name expression, which isn't going to work. Is it? I don't know what. So if we look at this, it doesn't have a name. Oh, I guess we can get the parts and get the last part. We can get the parts. Let's get last dot name, which is silly. And then whether or not it's a record, I guess we just say false. Yeah, but we want to do this like, how are we gonna do that actually? Let's say whilst next is not a closed brace and we're not at the end, then it's gonna do get last, yeah, which is basically what I had. And then basically that will just expect that. And then that becomes that. And then finally, we can do that. Now let's go ahead and say, to do and on multiple types. Now, what am I missing? So after arguments, we have the anonymous class declaration, which it doesn't like. I don't know why. It needs to be anonymous class declaration, like that. I think that's why that's probably not liking it. Yes. And then this is also a thing that does need to exist. Which is basically the stuff before the new. So really it needs to be before the new. Like, I don't know why I decided to put it there, but it does need to be there. Oops, I need to do that. Did that work though? Also, this hasn't done it, has it? No. But this is also a thing that needs to be there. Yeah, this just needs to be typed. And then after that, it is the constructor type arguments. That. Let's go into here. This becomes a list of types. And then we have the list of type ref, which is the constructor type arguments. So scope needs to go there, and then that needs to be there, like that. And then yeah, that's it. That is one hefty method. But here we go. And then yeah, we have a couple hefty ones left. Switch actually shouldn't be too hard, I hope. Should we try and do switch real quick? I think we can do switch real quick. I think this one should be really, really easy. I could be incorrect. So basically, I think we expect to switch, open parenthesis, get the expression, and then I think we can just pass a switch block? No. Switch block. Is that not a thing we have? Oh no. Switch rule. Where are you done? Switch statements. Ugh. Oh, also, I don't have the closing brace here. Do I? Fuck. The fact that I've messed that up tells me that I've probably messed up so many fucking little things. Like, oh my god. Because that's such an easy mistake to make. Well, shit. That's all going to come out in testing, I guess. This is actually going to have to be so thoroughly tested. Like, you guys are going to have to be on top of this helping me. Because, like... Because, yeah, this is going to be one hefty thing. I don't know why I just went away from that, because I now need that again. I want to copy there. Like that, and then just return a new switch expression. Yeah, as expected, nice and simple. And then all we have left is casting. We have primary expressions, method calls and method references. Method references should be pretty simple, I think. Method calls should be pretty simple, right? That's just an identifier followed by type arguments followed by the actual arguments, and then that's it for a method call. Primaries aren't that bad either. Right, try and find primaries. Yeah, primaries are just a lot of literals, so primaries shouldn't be that bad. Make some debugging, audio visualizer, text editor, GUI editor, model editor, MBT viewer, editor, structure viewer, and editor, region viewer, particle editor. Okay, I did not say a particle editor is planned. I said it's an idea I had. Same with well, yeah, same probably with region viewer, but well, yeah, probably. I don't know about region viewers. Particle editor and region viewers are maybes. Everything else is yes, basically. Anyways, I think we're gonna end it here, to be honest, because it is end of stream time. And also we're not gonna be able to do anything else we have here by, you know, in the time we well, the time we have left is 6 seconds, but regardless, we couldn't do any of these in any small amount of time. These are all probably going to take about half an hour. Like, this will probably be half an hour. I expect this might be about half an hour. This probably also about half an hour. The only one that's going to take a long time is casting. That could probably take like an hour and a half. But once we've done all that, that's actually it. Like, we'll be done for now. And we can move on to semantic analysis, which will be interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. I hope you all enjoyed. I will see you all again for the usual stream on Saturday and then Sunday as well. So yeah, I will see you all then. Goodbye.